Hello Model Railroad fans, welcome to Vintage Road and Rail. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at this HO scale Bachmann train set. It is the Thoroughbred, but before we get that, just a couple of quick updates. My last video was on the Stallion train set, which was the N-scale version of this, and it's been some time ago. I had planned on doing this sooner, but if you've watched my channel here recently, you know I've got a water leak going on in my basement. It's taken forever to get it fixed. It's just ridiculous, and it's a fairly complicated situation. Kind of stinks, but it is what it is. So I'm having to kind of improvise a little bit. I'm actually filming this at my kitchen table, and when I'm done, I'm going to drag it down to the train club, and I'm going to shoot a little bit of footage of it running on a layout down there, just so you can see it in action. The other thing is, when I did my 1,000 subscriber special several videos back, I did a contest. I had my kids picked a winner, and I finally got a hold of the winner, and I've been in contact with them, but I've yet to ship out what I'm supposed to send. Just been a bit distracted with the holidays and with everything going on with that basement and everything, but I hope to get that out very soon, and then I can announce the winner. I just kind of got the rug pulled out from underneath from underneath of me with a bunch of stuff going on. So anyway, enough of that. So here is Bachmann's HO scale Thoroughbred train set, and this is the front of the box here, and we got some nice artwork. I really like this picture they've got up here, and just the design of the box in general. And it gives you a quick showing of what to expect. So we've got our oval of track, our power supply, and it comes with knuckle couplers. And as far as, pardon me, as far as what comes in the box train-wise, we got a wide vision caboose, we've got a Southern gondola, we got a Norfolk and Western. Oh, for crying out loud, my brain just went out on me somewhere. So when I remember it in a minute, I'll tell you what it is. Then we have our F7 locomotive, and this is Norfolk and Southern. All right, and I don't know what happened to my brain cells. But anyway, so let's keep taking a look at this box here. And so here is one side, and we've just got more of the same artwork and a quick description of what comes with it. And that's pretty much it. All four sides look alike. And that was a hopper car, by the way. Oh my gosh. It's almost 10 o'clock at night as I'm recording this. Alright, so here is the back of the box. Again, we got this nice artwork up here, and it goes into a little bit more detail as to what you can expect inside. So we got a 47-inch by 38-inch oval of track, which means it's going to have 12 curves and 2 straights, and probably one of the straights will be where your power goes, and this is going to have the black road bed and the steel rails instead of the gray road bed and the nickel silver like you get with some of their more expensive sets in their N scale. Alright, and so here it shows a little bit better picture of the power supply. And reading it here, it says we got a smooth running EMD F7 diesel locomotive with all-wheel drive and operating headlight. We've got our hopper car, our gondola, a caboose, and it just mentions again the track we've got and the power supply, and that we have knuckle couplers. And then down here, we've got some additional little track plans that you could set up, but you will need to buy additional track to go with this, and it points out what it is you would need to make these layouts. Alright, so I'm going to stop the video, and I'm going to break the plastic. You can see we still got the plastic here. I'm kind of tearing on it. So I'm going to break the plastic, and I'm going to pull everything out, and we're going to take a quick look, or I should say a closer look, at the locomotive and the cars, and I'm going to point out what does come in the set that we've already mentioned. And then I'm going to pack it all up, take it up to the train club, and get a little footage of that running. Before I move on with the actual breaking of this plastic here, I thought I would just show what it looks like if you were to slide it straight out of the box like this. And this actually had a pretty good grip on it. I think this was hanging up and making it stick in the box a little bit. So I just wanted to point out, you've got your locomotive, your 2 cars, your caboose, and here's where your track is and your paperwork. Over here is where your controller will be, and this will be the wall wart power supply for it. But the main reason I wanted to kind of cut in here is I wanted to point out something I do not like. This is just regular plain old plastic that's covering this, so you've got to tear this plastic off to get these out. And the part I don't like is once you pull that out, there's nothing here, you know. So you reach in and you can, you know, once this plastic is gone, you put this back in the box, you'll just reach in and touch the cars. And I think that just leaves them exposed if you feel you want to store this in the box. Or if you were to sell it used, you would want to cover it with something to make sure it's good and protected. So I just wanted to point that out before we broke the plastic. And instead of stopping the video, let's just go ahead at this point and break the plastic. I grabbed a kitchen knife and let's just break that plastic. I'm just going to give it a little puncture. And we'll break the plastic and tear this off and set it off to the side. Not much to it. And I can feel there's a little bit of cardboard reinforcing behind here. Alright, so let's set that aside. Now I don't want to take all of this out. I'm not going to pull this power supply out. If you've seen one Bachmann train set, you've seen them all. And the same with this track. It's just your standard easy track with the black road bed and the steel rails. And over here, I will pull this out, or attempt to. Yeah, they got it in there pretty good. So I'll just, there it is in there. I mean, it can come out, but again, it's pretty standard. It doesn't even have AC connection. It basically has a forward and reverse and a control, and that's it. So I will try to remember to post a picture of one at the bottom of the screen. But like I said, same with the wall wart. If you've seen one, you've seen them all. Alright, so let's however, go over this paperwork, which I don't like how it's folded up. I'd rather they have put it in there straight, or at the very least just folded it once like they did with the N-scale set. That tape is on there good. Where to put my knife? There it is. We'll use that to break the tape. There it goes. And then we can just see what paperwork we have. All right. So this is some support information. It wants to roll up. And here is a packing list, if you will. This is what to expect in your train set. So if you look at this and you see something missing, either check with Bachmann or the hobby shop or wherever you purchased it. And over here, we have got some information about your F7 locomotive and an exploded diagram. And we've got some information on other Bachmann products. And this is just some troubleshooting. And this is all warranty information. And you have a mail away card and a warranty card. This is for a catalog. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a quick look at each of these components. And then I'm going to point out as we go a big pet peeve of mine. Alright, So here is your wide vision caboose. Looks pretty good. I mean, it's not high on detail, but it does have knuckle couplers. And we've got our little smokestack there. But right here, this is my complaint. Metal wheels. All of these cars are going to have metal wheels. I'm okay with the plastic knuckle couplers because lots of companies do that, even some higher end companies. But it's 2022. I just don't think that any train set, boxcar, freight car, caboose, whatever, should have plastic wheels. That to me is just inexcusable. And the other thing is this is basically the 1980s mold. Used to, it would have this big long I won't say adapter, but the coupler was connected to the truck, and it was really long and it would stick out. And basically all they've done is remove that and body mount. So they've more than got their money back off that mold. I think they could afford to put some metal wheels on there. All right, so here is our gondola, and it's silver with the red Southern, and we got the SR for Southern Railroad, and again with the plastic wheels. Got a brake wheel there, and some decent little detail. I mean, these are molded off of old, like from the 80s or something, but they're budget train sets. I mean, you can get this thing pretty cheap, which I did not go over, which is something I meant to go over, so I will, at the beginning of the video, put how much you can expect to find that for. But yeah, it just really needs to have metal wheels. But otherwise, it looks pretty good. I mean, and it's pretty durable. It's just, that to me is inexcusable. The other thing that's inexcusable is, I'm sorry, give me some nickel silver with a gray road bed. I know it saves a few bucks, but at this point in time, I just don't think that savings is worth it. Alright, so we have a Norfolk and Western hopper car. See, I finally remembered it. Again with the plastic wheels. And we do have a brake wheel on there. And this does come with a neat little coal load, so that'll make it look pretty good. Again, all molded in detail, but it looks pretty decent. You can actually see some rivets there, and all the lettering looks nice and crisp. And then finally, let's get to the star of the show, and that is going to be our F7 locomotive, if I can get it out. And they're pretty good. There we go. I think it could have been a little bit heavier. But there we go. Norfolk and Southern. We got our little horse there that's built into their logo. I love it. This is number 4270. All this detail is molded in. But we do have plastic for windows for these little portholes. And we've got plastic serving as windows here. Got a little bit of painted detail there. On the roof, we've got our horns, one facing each direction, our exhaust fans, our dynamic brake, but we do not have a steam generator here. On the bottom, pretty basic, not much to see there. Here we are from the back. The other side is identical to the one we looked at a moment ago. And here is the front. We got some molded in windshield wipers. We got the Thoroughbred here on the front. And while the number boards are not lit, we do have lettering on there. I have seen many of these budget locomotives that don't have anything. They're just blank. So it is nice to see the lettering there. So that is a look at this train set. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to put them back in this little protective plastic here. And I'm going to run up to the train club and shoot some footage of it going around one of the layouts up there. Alright, model railroad fans, I'm now up at the train club here. If I pan around, you can see the various layouts that we've got. At some point I do want to do kind of a tour, but not while we're doing open house and while that part of the layout's under construction. But this is a 4x8 layout. It was donated to the club. So we're going to put this rascal on it and get some footage of it just going around the layout. So give me just a moment to get the train that's on there off and get this one set up, and we'll get some footage. I've got the train set up here on the layout. I've already tested it because I've never used this layout before, and I wanted to make sure that everything was set so that it would work properly. I don't have my gimbal with me. I've yet to learn how to use it, so I apologize if it gets all shaky as I'm moving around. But I'm kind of slowly backing up so you can see this layout here. And let me come around here. This is a very old school layout. You can run 2 trains on here, but you got to be paying attention, and you got to really know these power blocks and the switches. But I've got it all set to where that it will make a nice loop, so we're going to get some footage of that. And then I've got a few extra cars from the train that was on here, so what I think I'll do is at the end I'll stop and get a little extra footage of it just as it is, and maybe add those on and just see how it does. Alright, so let's give it some power. Oh, for crying out, you little rascal. Why didn't you do that before I started filming? Oh, for crying out loud. Alright, well, let's head on around. Now, why didn't you do that earlier? Now, are you actually connected, or are you making me think you're connected? You are not. There we go. There she goes. I think she looks really good. Nice looking little train set. Most places you can find this, it will run about $130, but I didn't pay anywhere near that for this one. And if you look around, you may be able to find it for around about $100. The headlight does work, but this is an old school DC layout, and I'm afraid to get it up fast enough to really be able to tell. Kind of look at it, you can see it's on. That corner right there really makes me nervous. If this were my layout, I would have a little something there just in case it flew off, it would hit that. Alright, let me back up and shut up. Real quick, that table is our raffle prizes for our open house. And this layout is based off of an old school 4x8 Atlas layout. Seems to be running fairly quiet. Alright, so let's stop it right here, and let's go ahead and add on 3 more of these cars. I'm not going to put that on because I know it's janky. So give me just a second. So we got these extra cars on. So let's back up and let's pick them up. Well, it's definitely sensitive. No problem. I would imagine this Bachmann locomotive could easily handle 10, probably could do 15. I don't know that I'd want to stress it too much more than that. It is a budget locomotive after all. Based on the power that I'm having to use to drive this, I would think I would stop at 10, because I've already got 5 on here. Alright, model railroad fans, this is a look at the Thoroughbred HO scale train set. Before we wrap it up, I'm just going to kind of give some final thoughts on this. I think it would be a decent starter set. Good Christmas present, birthday present, or maybe even if you're looking to break into the hobby. But there are a couple of things that really bug me. The two most notable ones is, I just think at this point, nickel silver track, you should not be in with the more realistic gray roadbed. That just should be standard across the board for Bachmann. And the same goes for the metal wheels. These are plastic wheels, they're rolling pretty good. But if you were to try to pull 10 cars with this, you're definitely going to want the metal free rolling wheels to where that it's not being held up by these plastic wheels. The third thing is more of a gripe than an issue, and that's what I had pointed out earlier. There was nothing to protect the locomotive or the cars if you put it back in the box. The N-scale train set would have like this thicker plastic film that would sit over it and give it a little bit of protection, and or at the very least keep it, if the box tipped over, from falling out. And a fourth thing, again, this is a niggle, don't roll up the paperwork. It took me forever to get it back in the plastic. Alright, I hope you enjoyed taking a look at this train set here, and I would recommend it for a starter set. However, you will need to probably switch out your track at some point, but it would be a good place to get you going. Alright, model railroad fans, until next video, happy model railroading, guys. Take care.